Shark. Designed to be a movie that you can play, it's pretty much an excuse for B-movie actors to talk like this and yell at you.
Let's go, rookie!
Originally made for the Sega CD, it was later ported over to the 3DO, and it was much better there because you could actually play almost full screen as opposed to it looking like this on Sega CD. While it tried to be innovative, the game absolutely failed, and no one took it seriously because the controls were a joke! For its time, though, it looked great, but it was pretty damn boring. Meet Falco. She's the sex appeal in Sewer Shark. Oh yeah, nothing like a manly woman to get you stoked to play.
Shoot time.
So what do you do in Sewer Shark? Well, you go through the sewers, shoot the Radigator, and eventually you send your no-good boss out to sea by putting his fat ass in an inner tube. Don't be like Ghost.
Ghost here. I always come back for more.
Avoid this game at all costs. If you do play it, you might as well be dog meat.
Dog meat!
Yes, Inspector Gadget, Penny, Brain, Dr. Claw, Go-Go Gadget, Helicopter, the whole shebang! If you were expecting that when you saw an Inspector Gadget video game, you would be absolutely wrong. Let's redo this video game vault the way the game actually is. Nope, no siren to greet you. Nope, no kick-ass music. Not even any animation. Just a stagnant, crappy title screen with music that sounds like a MIDI file a 6-year-old could have made. Disappointed? It doesn't end there. Remember the Gadget Copter, the Gadget Cuffs, the Go-Go Gadget Light? Yeah, well, they're not in this game. But I'll tell you what is, jewels, and lots of them. Now, judging by this animation, we know that Dr. Claw is making evil jewels that will somehow destroy humanity, and the only way to stop him is to line up the jewels and change them into other forms of currency. So obviously, this is a puzzle game. Now, if you were a big Gadget fan growing up, the game over scene will haunt your dreams. Why do they gotta do that? These falls so real. You don't kill off Inspector Gadget. Now, obviously, this game is an absolute joke, but there's good news. It can only get better from here. Just think about something. What if there was an Inspector Gadget game on the Wii? How cool would that be? It would be bad-ass. But as for this game, it's just Go-Go Gadget awful. Shame on you, 2001 Ubisoft. Shame on you and your crappy old logo.
Bubble on the NES, this game is about two killer dragons. Well, cute killer dragons. The storyline is going through the cave of monsters to save your girlfriends. My favorite line from the game is on the cartridge, and it says, "These are two hungry dino-mites, and they've got bubble fighting fun down tight." Yeah. Awesome. I'm gonna have to say this game is one of the greatest games of all time. It has great power-ups, fun enemies, sweet co-op, secrets everywhere. Awesome. Some of the innovation includes bubbles that drift around in different patterns to aid you for each level. You have to go through a massive 100 levels, and there's all kinds of cool things to do along the way. You know, I was thinking, that has to be one deadly-ass bubble. Even Godzilla would run in fear. You spit it on something, and then when you touch it again, it changes into vegetables. Yummy! One last thing, they did make a sequel called Rainbow Islands, and for the love of God, don't ever play this game. It's about a boy who shoots rainbows out of his crotch. Stick with the original, it's f***ing awesome.
Everyone knows Street Fighter II changed video games, but some people fail to remember just where exactly the series came from. 1987 brought us the original Street Fighter and the most frustrating controls in the entire world. Why is it so frustrating? Because they're so precise. This is definitely not Street Fighter II, where it's easier to throw a fireball than it is to fart. You have to work your ass off just to throw a fireball, do a hurricane kick, or a dragon punch. And yes, Ryu actually says dragon punch. Seriously, you can try to do a hurricane kick the entire round and it won't work. But when it does, BAM! Did you see that? Freaking 2 hits and all his life is gone. Definitely not like Street Fighter II. Remember how cool and original those test your might stages were in Mortal Kombat? Looks familiar. Speaking of familiar, you're actually going to find a bunch of characters that are in later Street Fighter games, like Aiden, or Adon, however you say that, a Scarless Sagat, and even Balrog. I mean, well, Mike, who was called Balrog in the States to avoid lawsuits, or ears getting bit off, if you catch my drift. So what do I think is the best thing about the original Street Fighter? No matter who you beat, they'll always say the exact same thing after you kick their ass, even though you can't understand it.
But don't forget there are many goals, thank you, all over the world.
Whether you like it or not, Street Fighter 1 is an absolute classic that paved the way for a video game that would later dominate the video game industry. And if you get a chance to play it, I suggest doing so.
Find the princess. And you gotta help us.
Mario is one of the greatest franchises of all time, and you know this. But there are some games that need to be forgotten, one of them being Hotel Mario. Let's begin talking about the system the game came out on, CDI. This shithole got a lucky license from Nintendo, and they screwed it up so bad it would make a bunny cry. Half the problem was the system itself. It featured educational music, self-improvement titles with only a handful of video games. This system includes one of the worst controllers of all time. Look at this piece of dog poop. You can't move smoothly on any game at any time. Alright, back to Hotel Mario. It's like they took some game and threw Mario's face on it. The game features Mario, and the goal is to go through 7 Koopa hotels within the Mushroom Kingdom. Why does Koopa have hotels? Each of these hotels contain 10 stages, and the objective for these stages is to close every single door. That's it. You close doors. You have to recognize the sweet, sarcasm, cutscenes. Both characters have goofy, deep voices and silly accents.
That wasn't so hard, was it?
And I like how Princess Peach is voiced by a guy. Even I could do a better job. That wasn't so hard, was it? Boys! See, it was that bad. Surprisingly, this is the most playable game on the CDI, and that's just sad.
When you look back 20 years from now and look at the games that were popular today, you know, Halo, Gears, Wii Sports, hopefully you won't have some of the same feelings that I feel about Spy Hunter. This game was outstanding when it was released. Some would say one of the best of all time, and that might be true. Just for right now, in 2007, I find this picture more entertaining. That's awesome. Yeah, Spy Hunter didn't age very well. So the whole idea behind Spy Hunter is, well, I guess this guy, and you're driving a car. No, a spy car. I don't really know who sexy is back there, but she sure is orange. While you're driving, you have the bad guy blue cars trying to take you out in various ways, but you have the handy-dandy weapons truck to aid you with missiles, oils, and even silkscreen. Yeah, silkscreen. I don't know what that is either. So you got the bad guys and a way to combat them. But where exactly are you driving to? Well, we don't know because there's no ending to the game. It's like Jack Thompson complaining. It just doesn't stop. After a little bit of driving, you can change your car into a boat, but that's more or less to dull the monotony of driving. Eventually, you're going to get back on the road anyways. I remember hearing rumors about a helicopter part 2, but I also remember hearing rumors about an ending, and we all know how well that worked out. Apparently, over 20 years after its release, Hollywood feels it's a good time to make a spy hunter movie. It's just a shame I can't say 20 years after its release is a good time to play. Here's a newsflash for you. Ghosts and Goblins is hard. Really, really hard. Remember how cool you thought it was when you had to replay Symphony of the Night after you thought you had beat it, only to have the castle flip? Yeah, it's kind of the same idea, except you have to go through the game twice, and instead of going, oh, cool, you go, oh, damn. Now, how hard is this game? Well, even in the demo, which is supposed to make you want to play the game, it dies in less than 5 seconds. Yeah, that's encouraging. You have 3 lives and 2 hits to make your way through 6 of the hardest levels in video game history. 7 if you count the final boss. And there's something for you. After getting bombarded by dead guys, big ults, and those damn red devils, you would think the final boss would be next to impossible. But nope, it's actually pretty damn easy. You just stand back and you kick his ass from far away. The best thing about Ghosts and Goblins, you had to beat it in one sitting. There are no passwords. If you wanted to beat it and you had to go somewhere, you had to pause the game, shut off the TV, and come back to it later. There's no save states. No. Don't get me wrong. Even though this is one of the hardest games in history, Ghosts and Goblins is an incredible game. It just sets you up to fail. Also, the music. It is simple, it is 8-bit, and by far some of the most memorable music on the NES. It just happens to be that those memories are those of a frustrated childhood trying to beat this game. If you haven't played Ghosts and Goblins, A, you can't call yourself a gamer, B, you haven't seen Arthur and his Skippies, and C, you suck!
Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
Street Fighter.
I know what you're thinking. This is a bullshit game to go along with a bullshit movie.
No, you've lost your balls.
Most of you have played this game on MAME. MAME and the arcade version doesn't do the Saturn version of the game justice. Let me tell you why. The original version of Street Fighter the movie was developed by Incredible Technologies. Then, Capcom and Acclaim did the console versions, drastically changing the game from its arcade counterpart. This includes music, stages, they changed the voice actors, they even reprogrammed the game to make it similar to Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, so you know exactly how this game handles. The game actually plays great on the Saturn. It is still cheesy, yes, nonetheless, it's still a Street Fighter game and it's been redone by Capcom, and that's totally awesome. They did try to add storyline and movie battle mode by letting you choose your path, kind of like Street Fighter Third Strike, but with more lame dialogue and scenes from a crappy movie. You can only be Guile in this mode of play unless you have an action replay or use the cheat code so you can be Akuma. The game ending is the same one that's used in the movie, so when you start the game and you see that opening scene, it's the exact same scene you get at the end. It just says congratulations. This is the worst part. When you beat the game, you get a terrible music video that was only good enough for the credits in the movie. A bad movie. It's all in black and white and features a song that's terrible, and you can't skip it. No!